To have you with us. Joe P and the team coming up after 4 o'clock this afternoon. Last one of the week for Joe, actually, because he's sitting in for Helen tomorrow. Dan Chisholm will be looking after drive time tomorrow from 4. So, usual programme. Fairly familiar voices too. Now, last week we spoke to Raja Hadia, who's on her charity walk for the Tawheed Community Trust. It's raising money to develop and ultimately save the mosque, community centre, and the first Islamic charity shop and coffee shop here in Northampton. Well, Raja set out on a very special walk indeed earlier on today. We had her in the studio ahead of her walk and said, "Are you mad doing this with the weather that we're expecting?" And that was before the snow came down. Well, we've had the snow. There could be more tomorrow, and she's on her way. She's on a mobile phone, but I don't know exactly where she is. So let's call in with her now and find out how she's doing. She's taking a bit of a break at the moment. So, Raja Hadia, good afternoon. And first of all, where exactly are you?
Good afternoon. I'm up on Tagnell Road, going towards Hackleton at the moment. It's the B526.
So you're well out of Northampton Town Centre in that case. What time did you set off today?
We set off late, actually, later than we expected. So I think it was about after 12, going past 12 or something like that.
So actually, in about 3.5 hours, you've covered a fair amount of ground.
Yeah, I have, actually, and this is my first stop, so my feet are a bit sore, but I'm feeling good.
Are you a practiced walker? We talk about walking groups going off and rambling around various parts of the county, but are you a walker anyway, Raja?
I am a walker. I am a walker. I do like to walk a lot too, and I do it for exercise, so it is something that's familiar to me anyway, so yeah.
But you're not used to travelling the thick end of 70 miles, are you?
No, and definitely not in this amount of snow.
Now, I said you were doing this for the sake of the mosque and the Islamic Community Centre and the Islamic group in Northamptonshire as well. When you came into the studio, you were really up against it because the group had to cough up about £170,000, wasn't it, towards the cost of running the building. You've had some good news because when you came in, you hadn't got the money. Have you got the money now?
We don't have the money, but we do have the time. We've been given an extension of 2 months to pay off the 170,000. So we're hoping that the donations will pour in and we'll be able to pay that amount within the next 2 months.
Now, you're not expecting to make £170,000 walking to the mosque in central London, are you?
Well, it's quite possible. I'm expecting it, which is why I'm walking. I certainly hope so.
Well, I mean, that's one heck of a target to go for. We'll tell people how they can support you and sponsor you in the not-too-distant future. But today they're talking about temperatures just above freezing point during the day. They're talking about -8 tonight.
Yeah.
What are the conditions like for you now? Because you've taken a bit of a break. Is it dry? Is it freezing cold? How does it feel?
Well, it is quite cool, actually. The snow's very deep. So, but I've got thermal everything right now. So I think, to be quite honest, I was feeling a bit hot walking up. My feet were a bit cold. I was experiencing frozen toes or what have you. But apart from that, I'm dressed well, so it's okay. It's not so bad, but it is very cold outside.
All right, now you're taking care of yourself. What about other people taking care of you as well? How much support have you got there on the road with you?
Well, we're just a small team. It's just 3 of us. But I do have, first aid, and they're with me all the time. And, we're all planning it properly. And it's going well. It's not that bad. We actually have a caravan, so we can't have too many people. Because it's such a long period of time, we can't have, a really large group going with us all the way to London. But we're doing okay. I've got enough support. And
you talked about first aid, and that's an important thing because for people who didn't hear you when you came on the programme before, first aid doesn't mean just the occasional blister and looking after the feet and the muscles and so on. You have a heart condition, Raja.
Yeah, I do. My heart condition is benign. I mean, it's not anything too severe, but I do have to consider the fact that I can experience extreme fatigue and things like palpitations and lots of symptoms that can cause me to, stop and take a rest, and I have to eat, often with this condition. But I'm doing okay.
So does that mean that you're going to have to go it some to stay on schedule? How many miles per day have you set yourself as a target to get to London by?
Well, I don't know, because this is the first time. I'm just going to keep going, and I'm just judging on how I feel. I mean, if I could do 10 miles, I'll do 10 miles. If I could do 6, I'll do 6. So it just depends on the day, depends on how much energy I've got. Last night, I didn't get as much sleep as I had expected because I was called for an interview in London, a television interview last night on a talk show. So I had to rush back to Northampton and try to get pack up and get as much rest as possible. But I still feel quite good, actually. I was expecting to probably feel, a bit tired, but I'm okay.
So this is day one. By your reckoning, then, if you are perhaps able to do 10 miles a day, that's putting it somewhere between a week and 10 days that it's going to take you to do this, yeah?
Yeah, which is what, I had actually planned. I said maybe 7 to 10 days.
And what does the Islamic community think of you? I know you're one of the leading lights within the community here in Northamptonshire. Mm-hmm. What's the attitude been to what you're doing? I mean, do they think you're slightly mad?
Not at all. I think, they've been quite encouraging. They're quite proud of me, actually. I'm getting, support, especially from the sisters as well. And I'm quite happy with, the support that I'm getting. I'm hoping that I'll get more support, as I go on towards London. And also not only from Northampton community, but from the communities outside of Northampton. And, it's a wonderful experience.
All right. Now, is anybody documenting your journey as you go now? Can people sort of, if you like, follow the journey online in any way, shape or form, day by day?
Well, we have a website. Well, not a website, sorry. We have a website, but on the Facebook page, we have one called Inspiring Muslimah. As I've told you before, I'm the chairperson of the women's section at the masjid. So we do have a Facebook page, and I'm updating. I'm trying to update as I'm walking, as to when I'm taking a break, how far I've gotten, and things like that. So it's called Inspiring Muslimah, and that is on Facebook. And at the moment, those are the only updates that we have at the moment, but we will be updating on the website as well.
All right, well, you're making great inroads on this, your first day. You've had a bit of a break, so you better sort of get marching again. What time are you going to stop walking? Because we'll lose the light fairly soon.
Ooh, I may still be walking when it gets a bit dark, to be honest. It's with regards to, I think the traffic might slow down a bit in the evening. So I'm just depending on how I feel. I may walk a bit this evening as well, depending on how cold it is as well. So why not?
Well, if you manage to stay as positive as you sound right now through the entirety of your walk, you're going to be there in about 4.5 days. Because I think you're going to eat up the miles. You're doing tremendously well. Congratulations on the first day. Thanks for talking to us. Maybe we can catch up with you next week and find out how you're doing again when you get a bit closer to London. Yeah.
Thank you. And as far as the Muslim community is concerned, we've got 15,000. If each Muslim in Northampton donates £11.33, we'll have 170,000.
£11.33. That's what it's going to take.
That's it.
All right. Well, there's a challenge to every Muslim in Northamptonshire. Whether you are Muslim or not, if you'd like to support Raja, then you're very welcome to do so. She has a Just Giving website. It is www.justgiving.com/Raja Hadiya. And you spell Raja's name RAJAHADIYA. It's a fascinating page. It says why she's doing what she's doing. She's putting best foot forward, and she's doing tremendously well. www.justgiving.com/Raja Hadiya. RAJAHADIYA. Raja, lovely to talk to you. Enjoy your break.
Thank you so much.
Get back on the road, and we'll talk to you again before too much longer. Take care.
Okay, thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.
The Saints live.
Here comes the Saints charging down there, looking for